Well, wildfires are still burning in northern Minnesota, which has led to air quality issues across most of our state. But while the air is clearing up around the metro, those fires are still burning. Northern St. Louis County dealing with several fires. So joining us now is Sheriff Gordon Ramsay. Sheriff, thank you so much for joining us. I know you just hopped out of the room. We were just taking that press conference also from the U.S. Forest Service in Ely. I know you were there. We got a lot of information, a lot of updates just a few moments ago. And I've been following some of your updates on social media. You guys got some rain. Has that helped at all?
Yeah, I think it's a temporary reprieve, but the part to consider is that we've got more dry weather coming, and the Weather Service has put us on warning for potential red flag warnings Sunday, Monday, Tuesday with winds blowing south, which causes some concern. Everybody has to remember these are still forest areas that are burning. They're not burning in populated areas. Now they are moving south and getting a little closer, but I hear a lot of people that are worried about, well, should I cancel my vacation? This is a small area, and people need to keep in mind that it is wilderness that's burning. It is not a lot of, or really any populated areas.
And another update I saw of yours was about power being restored. What happened there? So the power went out, and then we're now okay?
Yeah, we had, as part of those storms today, there was some lightning, and that impacted a power line that was quickly repaired. But everybody's a little on edge up here. So, we're trying to keep people informed and keep them up to date on what's happening.
Yeah, tell us about that and just the process in getting the word out. As we mentioned, these fires in some of these remote areas. How has it been just trying to let people know what's going on and for them to receive these alerts, because they're very important alerts?
Right. One of the things, the smoke yesterday, while it was difficult for a lot of people to handle, I think it woke some people up that these are some serious conditions, and while it is wilderness fires, the potential for it to come south is there, and that people need to pay attention. We have we have a tremendous mapping system in these areas that are very rural. A lot of the cabins you can only access by water, so we have a pretty comprehensive mapping system where if the evacuation zone does continue to go south, where we will notify people, track it, and ensure that people are notified one way or another, even if it's in person.
What has this all hands on deck situation look like? Because for those viewers who weren't joining us, when the press conference happened, I heard, resources being pulled from, Mississippi and Mexico, and how unprecedented this is to see in the state of Minnesota. What has those resources look like on the ground?
Yeah, because it is over a wide swath of wilderness area, you don't really see it. But there's over 500 firefighters that are here that are working diligently to get lines around these fires and get them controlled, at least those that are at the south end of the boundary waters. It's been tough to get some updates on how far the fires have moved because planes haven't been able to fly. So we're having to do more work on foot because, again, you can't drive to these edge of these fires because they're so far into the wilderness. So that has been a little more challenging, trying to get up-to-date information on how the fires have changed given the weather conditions.
And I heard snowfall was mentioned. You still have to get through this big stretch of summertime. Is that what you're expecting too? Is the all clear once we get some snowfall?
I think in the remote areas, yes. Obviously, near your population centers, that's going to be dealt with readily. But this does extend up into Canada, into areas that are so far remote, it's very difficult to get to. So yeah, those will be left to burn.
Okay. Anything? I know we have a couple more minutes, but I know we're running out of time. You mentioned, you still want people to come up and visit. There are businesses that are there, places that are open. Tell us about that, because you mentioned remote areas, but also there's just to sort of give us a sense of what things look like, because for the people who haven't been up there, just a better visual of what to expect if we do come and visit.
Sure. Well, let's just take St. Louis County. St. Louis County is enormous in size. We have more lakes than many states. A lot of resorts, a lot of tourism-related business that, are going to be hurting if people decide not to come up here, even though they might not be fully, they're not impacted at all by these fires. So I think people need to keep that in mind. Continue with your plans if you're coming up here, and just stay alert and pay attention to where the the evacuation zones are. And it's a pretty small area given the overall size of northern Minnesota and all the lakes we have up here.
And this might just seem like a simple question, Sheriff, but how have people been feeling? I know you mentioned, some people sort of on edge when you talked about power outages, but for the most part, how have people been?
Yeah, well, people are very supportive of public safety. I think what people want to know is they want communication. They want to know where the fires are at and when they have to worry. And as, public safety professionals, we want to lead with a steady hand, keep people informed as best we can, but not cause any panic, and make sure that we're getting the information to those that are impacted by this in a timely manner so that everybody can stay safe.
Yeah, ultimately the most important thing. Sheriff Gordon Ramsay, we appreciate your time. Thanks I know you were in the room when that press conference was happening, so for you to jump out and hop on and speak with us and give us any updates, we really appreciate your time and just your effort too.
Yeah, thanks for covering this. Appreciate it.
Of course, thank you. Stay safe. All right, those are the updates from up north. We've been, of course, covering that the last several days. We've gotten so many updates on, Ryan, on the main fires that I think we've been watching. Of course, the Sioux fire, you talked about the Bear Trap fire, and also the Camp Fire. So they're working. It's just going to take some time.
They are, and they are good. It is almost an impossible challenge for them to do. And as we heard in the press conferences, they need some help with some rain and some snow eventually. So I wish them all the best in their efforts up there.
Yeah, and shocking to think about snow, because you think that's just so far away. You only talk about summertime, like, oof.